All right, big news. Come November 1st, 2025, a whole bunch of financial rules in India are about to change. And I mean, they're going to affect everything from your bank account to your business taxes. So what's actually changing? Why is this happening now? And most importantly, what do you need to do to get ready? We're going to break it all down for you.
So, let me ask you this. Do you think your finances are just going to keep ticking along the same way after November 1st? Your bank account, your wallet apps, even how you pay tolls on the highway? Well, you might want to think again. There are some major new rules on the horizon, and if you're not ready, you could be in for a surprise or two.
So, here's the game plan for today. We're going to cover bank account nominations, Aadhaar card updates, some new credit card and wallet fees, what's changing with GST for businesses, and what's happening with FASTag and toll payments. Let's get into it.
All right, let's jump right in. What's actually changing on November 1st? We're going to break down all the new rules step by step.
Okay, first things first, your bank account. The whole nomination process is getting a serious upgrade. You can now name up to 4 people for a single account, which is great. And you can even decide what percentage each person gets. But honestly, the real game changer here is this new successive nominees option. Think about it. It's like creating a line of succession. If your main nominee can't inherit for some reason, the next person in line just steps up, automatically. This could be a huge deal for preventing family disputes down the road.
Next, let's talk Aadhaar. You know how updating your details can sometimes be hassle? Well, it's about to get a whole lot easier. For the simple stuff, like your address or phone number, you'll be able to do it online, maybe even without any paperwork. The fees are changing too. Simple, non-biometric updates will cost less, while the bigger changes, like your fingerprints, will have a slightly higher fee. Makes sense.
Now here's a number that's definitely getting people talking, 1%. Yep, some card issuers, like SBI Card, are rolling out a new 1% fee. This is going to pop up on certain payments, like if you are paying for education fees using a third-party app. And look, this isn't just a one-off thing. It's part of a bigger shift in digital payments. It's not just about education. We're also hearing about new charges when you load more than 1,000 rupees into your digital wallet. This is a pretty clear sign that the days of loading up your wallet with large amounts for free, well, those days might be numbered, as these payment systems look to cover their costs.
And these changes aren't just for your personal finances. They're hitting businesses and transport too. For businesses, the GST system is getting a rework to make registration simpler. For all of us drivers, FASTag is getting stricter with something called Know Your Vehicle verification to cut down on misuse. Oh, and a really important one for pensioners. You've got to get your life certificate submitted by the end of November. That's a hard deadline to keep those pensions coming.
So at this point, you're probably thinking, okay, that's a lot. Why is all of this happening right now? And that's a great question. Believe me, it's not random. There's a clear strategy behind all this. Let's unpack the government's goals.
You know, a huge piece of this puzzle is just better governance. Think about it. Clearer rules for bank nominees are meant to stop legal fights before they even start. And making Aadhaar updates easier means the government and banks have more accurate info on hand. That means fewer headaches for everyone in the long run.
This is also, for sure, a big push towards a more formal digital economy. When you see small fees being added to certain transactions, that's a classic behavioral nudge. They're trying to gently guide us towards more direct, traceable ways of paying for things and, shrink those financial gray areas.
And of course, a lot of this is just about managing risk. Stricter Know Your Vehicle checks for FASTag, that's all about cracking down on people trying to game the toll system. The life certificates for pensioners, that helps get rid of ghost pensioners who shouldn't be on the payroll. And more accurate Aadhaar data helps banks know exactly who they're dealing with. It's all about tightening up the system.
So if you put all the pieces together, the main drivers become pretty clear, right? We're talking better governance and clarity, a big push towards a digital economy, simplifying taxes for businesses, and a major focus on cutting down risk and making sure everyone's compliant. It's a full package deal.
Okay, so we've covered the what and the why. Now for the most important part, what does this all mean for you? What do you actually need to do? Let's build your financial action plan.
Let's make this super practical. Take loading up your digital wallet. Right now, before November 1st, you probably just load whatever you want without a second thought, right? No fees? Well, after November 1st, you'll need to remember that loading more than 1,000 rupees might hit you with a new charge. It's a small change in habit, for sure, but definitely one you'll want to be aware of. Look, the key here is just to be proactive. Don't wait for November 1st to sneak up on you. So here's a super simple 4-step checklist. 1. Go review your bank nominees. 2. If your Aadhaar info is old, get it updated, especially with those new online options. 3. Starting in November, just keep an eye on your card statements for any new fees. And 4. Make sure your FASTag KYC is done so your tag doesn't get deactivated. Easy enough, right?
All right, let's zoom out for a second for the big finale. These individual rules, they're not just small tweaks. They're all signals pointing towards a brand new financial future for India.
I think this quote just nails it. These changes signal a massive shift, moving from loosely regulated systems to more structured, digital, trackable frameworks. That's really the heart of it. We're moving away from the old informal ways of doing things. The whole system is becoming more structured, more digital, and more trackable.
So what are the big trends we're seeing here? First, finance is becoming way more digital and tied to your identity, like your Aadhaar. Second, we might be seeing a shift where some costs are passed from the institutions to us, the consumers. Third, compliance is becoming non-negotiable, for you and for businesses. And finally, the government is getting smarter about using these little behavioral nudges to shape how we spend our money.
So as we wrap this up, it's clear your financial world is becoming a little more digital, a bit more accountable, and maybe a little more transparent about costs. So that leaves us with one final thought for you to chew on. When you look at all these changes, the bank nominations, the Aadhaar updates, the new fees, the GST reforms, which one of these new rules do you think is going to hit home and impact you the most?
All right, big news. Come November 1st, 2020,